Recognized, Uncle Walker, D01. Recognized, Emily of Arden, D12. Recognized, Joe Moniac, D05.
Hello, team. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us for episode 26 of Whelmed, Season 4. My name is Rich, and with me is my co-host, Emily, and producer, Neil.
Hey, everyone. In these review episodes, we'll be diving into the plots, characters, Easter eggs, comic book history, and everything else of Young Justice, and use all of that as a springboard to talk about the creative writing process along the way.
Our review segments will avoid any major spoilers for later episodes, but we'll be discussing them in detail in our final segment, Crashing the Mode. I'm still saying it. Look, I read it, and I'm still saying it.
Okay. Yeah,
We gotta say it, because it'll be super ironic in another 10 years when season 5 suddenly appears.
I'll come back
and
I'll splice it in.
And with all that out of the way, let's hand it over to Emily for...
Hello, Megan!
The title of this week's episode is Death and Rebirth. The release date was June 9th, 2022. The in-episode dates were September 14th through 17th. The writer was Greg Weisman, the director was Vinton Huke, and the voice director was, as always, Jamie Thomason.
Special guest voice credits include D. Bradley Baker as Chameleon Boy and Graven,
Denise Boutte as Feora Ha'ul,
Ben Diskin as Orion, Ma'alafa'ak, and Brainiac 5,
Gray Griffin as Johnny Kent and Lois Lane,
Jason Marsden as Danny Chase,
Vanessa Marshall as the Emerald Empress in Black Canary,
Phil Morris as Druzad and Lorzad,
Nolan North as Marvin White,
Kari Walgren as Phantom Girl, Saturn Girl, and Jan Moores,
Hayden Walsh as Marie Moores, and Perdita Vladek,
and Greg Weisman as Lucas Carr and Ultra Humanite.
Just in time for your next mission.
This week's episode picks up exactly where last week's left off, with Zod making a dramatic world domination speech while Connor's poised to murder Superman. It's fine. After the credits, we cut back to the North Pole 5 minutes earlier, where we see a surprisingly not dead Nightwing emerge from the Fortress of Solitude to discover the bioship crash, which turns out to be full of equally surprisingly not dead heroes. Nightwing and McGann recap the end of last week's episode and explain how they're both still alive. Dick Grayson faked an injury and slowed his pulse to appear dead, while Saturn Girl was in fact able to warn the rest of the bioship in time for Superman and Orion to absorb most of Emerald Empress's attack, and giving the telepaths just enough time to create a psychic illusion to trick the Kryptonians. While some of our heroes were knocked unconscious by the crash, most of them are still up and running, and Nightwing informs us that the rest of the OG teams just radioed him from the Magic School Bus back in Metropolis. So, with everyone, except for Rocket, now accounted for, the next stop is Metropolis, a trip that Baby Bioship arrives to help with.
Over in Planet Circle, despite Zod's orders, Connor can't bring himself to kill Superman. But before Zod can break out the kryptonite again and finish them both off, Kid Flash and the Magic School Bus crew arrive on the scene to run interference. As Baby Bioship approaches Metropolis, Nightwing reminds everyone that this battle has to end before sunrise, or else all of the Kryptonians will reach their full power and no one will be able to stop them. In the city center, Zod tries to open another boom tube to summon his army, but before he can succeed, our heroes engage. Baby Bioship and her passengers then arrive on the scene, and it's time for an all-out superhero fight. McGann immediately steps in to heal Connor, and after restoring his mind again, in a beautiful callback, Superboy rejoins the fray on the side of our heroes. Then, 10 million things happen in rapid succession. Superboy offers Zod mercy, he refuses, Kryptonian showdown ensues, Miss Martian takes on Emerald Empress and subdues her after another brief death fake-out, because we needed to have one more just in case. The Legionnaires team up to distract Macomb enough for Danny to kick him out of his mind. Danny opens another boom tube back to the Phantom Zone to send all of the Kryptonians back. A surprisingly alive Rocket. I don't know if surprisingly even works right now anymore, but anyway, an alive Rocket arrives out of nowhere, and there's just no time to explain.
After Druzad gets slam dunked back into the Phantom Zone, the Eye of Ekron kidnaps Ursa and flees the planet. After the same moment, Lore jumps into the same time sphere Rocket arrived in and escapes the scene. And just a moment too late to be helpful, the rest of the League, team, outsiders, etc. show up and are informed the battle is over. But with Lore having taken the time sphere, the Legionnaires are once again stranded and no one knows what Lore might do now that he's loose in the time stream once again. The next day in Metropolis, we get to see Clark share the good news with Johnny that Connor's actually alive and that Connor and McGann are getting married tomorrow before the next catastrophe can happen. The next day, everyone gathers in Happy Harbor for the special occasion, and we get some important side conversations. Black Canary pitches the idea of a more permanent place for heroes to go when they need a mental health break from the hero life. Garfield and Perdita reconcile, but stay broken up. Several of the heroes decide that the best way to deal with the Kryptonians in the Phantom Zone is to release them on Trombus, a planet with a red sun. But then we find out that Vandal Savage has rounded up all of them and is keeping everyone in containment cells on the War World, minus Macomb and one Kryptonian that Darkseid demanded as tribute.
We'll get there.
It just keeps getting worse. Elsewhere,
This is fine, Neil. This is fine, Rich.
Elsewhere, Graven, one of Darkseid's lieutenants, presents Macomb with an uninhabited planet for the White Martians to claim as their own, Durla. I have feelings. No ominous foreshadowing there. And back at the wedding, Rocket finally explains how she didn't die. When the boom tube collapsed, she appeared in Metron's Infinity Vault, where he offered her Lore's time sphere to get home in gratitude for her previous help as part of an experiment.
One or the other.
That sounds like Metron. We witness the results of that experiment as we see that after escaping Metropolis, the time sphere transported Lore to 6 months ago on Mars at the exact moment of Connor's near death. He exits the time sphere to get a second chance at killing Connor, only for the sphere to disappear, returning to Metron's vault, and trapping Lore in the kryptonite explosion, and finally explaining that humanoid shadow on the cave wall we saw all the way back in episode 4. Elsewhere in the universe, Ursa vows to raise Lore, who she is currently pregnant with, to exact revenge in the name of the House of Zod, before landing on a planet called Daxam and back on Earth, just as the Legionnaires are getting really worried about what they're going to do now. Brainiac 5 arrives in a time sphere from the future to pick them up and bring them back to the future.
And with all of that sorted, it's time for a wedding. A very, very cute wedding, full of cameos and little Easter eggs, and we'll get to all of that, I promise. And after some equally sweet wedding reception background noise over the credits, we get our final post-credits scene. On Apocalypse, Graven introduces Darkseid to Granny Goodness's two newest Furies, Black Mary, formerly known as Mary Bromfield, and a Kryptonian who was given to Apocalypse by the Light after she was freed from the Phantom Zone, Kara Zor-El. Supergirl exists.
Jiminy Christmas, you guys. Like, there's a lot of Kryptonians in the hands of not okay people.
And that's all we have to say about the episode, and we're done.
That's it. That's how we're done. All
Stay
right, guys, see you
whelmed,
later.
everyone.
Bye. Stay whelmed, everybody.
Stay whelmed.
All right.
Shortest episode on record.
we have Aster, and
I have 2 pages of notes almost because I write too much.
Boxes of Kleenex. So buckle up, everybody.
Superboy, are you alright?
I'm fine. Feeling the Aster.
Oh my gosh.
This time on Young Justice, the very next final battle for the planet Earth. ...
I mean, that one's at least descriptive. That one's at least, like,
I do love
correct.
Though, yeah, but this one's, I mean, they're all funny. Don't get me wrong, but this one just makes me laugh more. Because it's so comic booky to say the very next final battle.
The very next final battle
yes.
for Earth.
Love it.
I just
probably my favorite of all of them.
Well, it's like back in the day, it was like there's Crisis on 2 Earths, and there was Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then it was Crisis on, I don't even know. It just keeps getting more Crisis involved. Like it just
you just gotta keep upping the stakes, man.
It sounds like 2 kids arguing with each other. Well, one, I bet 2.
I double dog dare you.
Well, I bet infinity. I bet infinity plus 2. And you're like, oh, okay. Well,
I bet infinite Earths. Someone said there were 52 Earths, and then somebody else came along and said, nah, man, infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Infinite multiverse.
Yep.
The very next final crisis. Always.
Okay.
There's
I don't even know.
I
don't even know. I think we all have some notes.
Well, I could do just like a few little more production-y style things before.
Yeah, do it. Be a producer,
just
Neil.
Because, so this took me a little longer than I wanted, just because I guess I'll just throw shade directly at HBO Max. Every time you watch an episode of anything right now, it's like, you want to watch the new Game of Thrones? I'm like, yeah, but I also don't want to watch this 10-minute commercial for it every time. So I was trying to figure out how long the episode was. They're doing something where everything, it's stitched onto it. Like, it's not playing the commercial and then going to the episode. It's part of every episode when it's delivered to you. So it took me a little while to figure this out, but
yeah,
wait,
skipping the theme song. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm to explain to this more to me because I don't watch HBO Max. I just own the episodes.
Oh, so when you go on HBO Max, a lot of streaming services will play a commercial for something that they're promoting, which I don't, no shade. If you want to promote something that's inside the system that I'm already paying for, I'm cool with it. Netflix promoting stuff that they've produced, totally understand. If it's for some random shampoo product, like, okay, I'll get a little frustrated. This is what I'm paying to not have those commercials. But if you're trying to keep me in your own system,
if you're saying like, hey, we're doing you like our stuff,
100%.
You like our stuff, we're doing a cool new thing we think you'll like. Here,
admittedly, and the way that everything's gone with, the right shifting around, this is technically considered and tagged as an HBO Max original. So in that, Game of Thrones is also, in the new one of the Seven Kingdoms, is Night of the Seven Kingdoms, is also an HBO Max original. So the way the episodes are presented to me right now, because that is coming out and episodes are dropping, that commercial is not played before the episode. That commercial is part of the episode, just with it. So when you go to click and watch episodes,
it's baked into the digital file,
just a part, not, because normally it'll be like play commercial, cut, go over to the episode you want to watch. No,
right?
HBO Max has the technology. We live in the future, and they have which is funny because listeners don't know this, but I have Supertown behind me. So in the future, apparently, you can just use the technology to bake your commercials directly into the episode. Yeah, there's no skipping.
So you can skip it.
You can skip it, but the fact that you have to skip it every time and it's on every episode.
I don't know, man. And then we were just talking about libraries and VHS tapes, and we're all wanting to go back.
Support your local library.
Support your local library. Anyway, Neil, where you got? What's after that?
Back in season 1 and 2, it had to fit the tight timeline that is being on syndicated television,
Cartoon Network,
and accommodate commercials and everything. So
22 minutes.
Yep, 22. And so once you get out of that, we're ballparking. And everything's, I think it clocks it at like 23 to 28. And the reason that top number here is only because of this episode, because this episode comes in at the longest at 27:43. So
you're saying that you were having a hard time telling how long this episode was because there was like 2 minutes of a commercial that was telling you that it was 29:43 or something like that instead. I got you. I see what's up.
That's why we had that side story.
Yeah, I got
there was stuff online. I was trying to confirm it myself, and I was like, oh wow, this is extremely difficult to do. Also, why do I have to do this? Why am I watching?
Yes. Wow. Okay, got you.
I'll say I want the Young Justice Blu-ray box set. Give me a Young Justice Blu-ray box set, please. I have my lovely little Avatar: The Last Airbender one. Give me one for Young Justice. Because I don't like that only 3 seasons are on physical media. All 4 of them should be. Please.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
I am genuinely surprised by that because recently, in my local mall, there's an FYE. And they recently, another local FYE closed, and all of the physical media from it showed up in this one. Awesome. Great. Because we were talking multiple times. And I saw that what Rick and Morty did to just get as much money as possible, which I wish that Young Justice would do, you can currently go in and purchase seasons 1 through 3. Or if that's not good for you, you could purchase seasons 1 through 4. And if that's not going to help you, then you could also purchase a box set of seasons 1 through 5. Because every time a new season dropped, they made a new box set.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why is this not happening?
I've been having to track down the DVDs, the stuff that I have. I don't know if there's anything different now, but a while ago when we first moved to Texas, we didn't have internet. So we had to bust out the old DVD player and buy stuff again. The pain in the tuchus it was for me to go and just find Young Justice DVDs to start with. And then they'd split the seasons in half.
Oh yeah.
And so then it was just what is going on? Come on.
That was super common with cartoons specifically of a certain era of just having like a single DVD with 4 to 5 episodes that
So
was
weird.
season whatever, part whatever. Because I distinctly remember this. This is going to, for all that I'm the youngest person on this podcast, I remember things from a while back. At one point, me and my brother watched Avatar The Last Airbender on DVD, rented from our local Blockbuster, where you rented it one disc at a time, and it was 4 episodes at a time because they were just broken down like that, and that was how they were sold.
Yep.
And then later in time, Avatar released them as season box sets that were very cool. They were cool cardboard fold-out things.
We've
and
got
then
those.
Only later did they release them as a full series box set, and then even later as a full series Blu-ray box set. So, I am not surprised by, like, I have seen those Young Justice DVDs, and it is so funny to me specifically that, like, the trajectory of the show, where it has gone, what it has become, the darker tone it has, and then seeing like here's 4 episodes from Cartoon Network season 1 in the most primary colored single DVD case you have ever seen. Action adventure. And I'm like, this is so odd. This does not line up.
It is so weird. It's like nobody's paying attention.
What I thought you were going to bring up, Rich, was the price tag on that stuff.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
that's what
please.
scared,
That's
because I was digging through, and that's what scared me the most was like, I mean, and what scares me the most is that I'll do it. And like, you know what I mean? Like, because you're just forced to, but there were certain like tiny box sets where I know it's just like 2 or 3, like 2 Blu-rays in there, and you're going to charge me $90 for something. Also, I love that you have you have a blockbuster experience. That's nice.
Yeah. What I'm to add on to this before we actually get into the real episode is we just share some Young Justice thoughts and physical media thoughts. This is my plea out into the universe and out to DC Comics to reprint the omnibuses of the Young Justice comics, because they currently go for over $120 on eBay. You're leaving money on the table, DC Comics. Please re-release those, because I'll pay for them. I just don't want to pay nearly $150.
Yeah.
I'll buy them for $40. I'll buy them for $50. I just don't want to pay triple the original price tag for this thing.
Yeah, we have them here in the house, and the kids, like, we're rewatching. My kids are 10 and 12 now, and so we're rewatching seasons 1 and 2. We're just finishing season 2, so they're old enough now. I can start creeping into season 3 and 4 with maybe a little editing, you know. But like, so they're into it, and they're like, let's do the comics, and I'm like, part of me is like, yeah, absolutely. Here's the comic compilations, and also, I don't like being this way, but I'm like, kind of be careful with them. Because, like, I mean, I get compilations so that I can share them with people so that they can read. Because I figure, I'll just buy another copy if it gets trashed or whatever, instead of, like, the original comics. And I can't get them anywhere. Like, these are it. So if it gets trashed.
The life cycle of comic trade paperbacks frustrates me to no end. And it is not a conversation that we have enough time to have here. But the ways in which that those exist and then go out of print very quickly frustrates me to no end, unless they are considered a prestige cornerstone of either DC or Marvel. They go out of print so fast, and that's so frustrating. And I know I have my individual issues, but I want a more convenient way to revisit things for stuff like this.
The same. And also, I want to lend them out, and not everybody knows how to take care of comics anymore. So, like, I just want to, like, hey, here, read this, and then have somebody just enjoy it. But living in an age where, like Descent into Midnight, our RPG is coming out like this year, and we're going to be having it print on demand at Drive-Thru RPG. Like, you know, people who back the Kickstarter or whatever, we're going to have those physical copies sent out to them. But if you want a copy in the future, like I recently bought Headspace by Mark Richardson and on Drive-Thru RPG, and I just ordered a copy print on demand. It was a reasonable copy. They printed it up to send it to me. It looks great. Feels like a regular physical copy. Like, I don't understand why you can't, like, hey, here's your compilation of Young Justice, and let's just see how many people order them print on demand. And then when, 15,000 copies get sold, they're like, oh, shoot, maybe we should have had that available. You know what I mean?
I want to hand each other flowers because I feel like we don't do this enough. We are having a very cavalier conversation about the fact that we both have books that exist in the world. That's super cool. So I just want to take a second, live in that. I have a stack of mine that I just ordered not that long ago. The quality that comes from Drive-Thru on print on demand. Yeah,
print on demand?
It's not fast.
It's great.
But also I told you to print a book. I didn't expect it tomorrow. You know what I mean? But like the fact that I literally have a stack. They just showed up. They were perfect. They were packaged super well. 0 damage on any of them. And then I sent one immediately to somebody that I wanted to give it to. And I have a stack of 4 ready to go.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm talking to a printing company, right? An actual printing company to print the books for the limited edition copies and the regular copies. And so we're talking about all these fancy stuff and blah, 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 blah. And then when we're done with that run, we're going to be uploading this, adapted PDF to Drive Through RPG. And I'm curious to see if there's a difference in the quality. Again, I don't know shade on the printing company at all. I'm just curious to see if there's a big difference in any of the quality, because the stuff that I've got on print on demand it's for what you're paying for, and considering somebody's printing you 1 copy and then binding it and sending it to you, feels pretty amazing. So I don't understand why it feels like to me like that is an area with, like you're talking about, Emily, with compilation comics. People will recommend stuff to me. Hey, did you read this Nightwing arc? And I'm like, well, I don't have a lot of time to pick up and read comics anymore, or money for that matter, because I got a couple kids and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I would love to. And then I go try to find it. And it's like you're talking about. It's like somebody's selling their slightly used copy for 3 times as much money. I'm like, I can't do that.
May I recommend checking out your local library? This is a PSA to everyone. If you haven't gone to your local library in a long time, they have comics now. They've had comics for a while, but maybe you don't know that.
They have had them for a while. That's true.
Not you, Rich, but the general populace. Libraries have comics.
Yes,
libraries
the royal
have
you.
Old comics. Library, not always the oldest comics, but a lot of comics. They have out of print stuff. I have read stuff in the past year that I thought was fantastic, that is impossible to get anywhere else, that is hundreds of dollars online, and I was able to get it for free from my library. It's nice. Incredible. Support your local library.
All right. I think we're all avoiding wanting to talk about the episode.
And then we'll talk about this Young Justice.
No. Okay. I'll put a button in. And I'll move us forward. The button is, Dear DC Comics, you have exactly 3 years to figure this out, because in 3 years, you can chalk it up to being the 10th anniversary for the omnibus, at which point you've had ample time to go talk to Greg and say, hey, Greg, this is a fun little idea we have. Would you like to write a foreword for this? Would you like to write a few additional pages? Because we're putting together a 10th anniversary for the first omnibus of the Young Justice comics. And we'd like to make a bunch of money. Would you like to come with us? Hey, I see that you've done that
art in it
extremely successfully for Gargoyles, to the point at which they're with the Fantastic Four. But like literally he's over here making comics and showing like prime example of like, here's an older product that people love, and we're making new comics and it's going gangbusters. We're even adding people that confuse Neil as to why they're together. He loves it, but I'm very confused as to why they're together. I don't care.
What's that?
Why the Gargoyles
and
Fantastic Four together? I don't know. I don't know why that happened. I don't care. I genuinely don't care. I love it. It confuses me. But listen, I love it, but I'm confused. But you could do a 10th anniversary, at which point you would then have 2 subsequent years to prepare yourself to do it again for the second one. At which point you would justify all the money you have to make more.
Okay. So now that we've had a 17-minute conversation, now that we've had a 17-minute conversation about not Young Justice,
a bunch of people have been added to the Fake Your Own Death Club.
Yep.
They're going to need a new clubhouse. I don't know where the clubhouse was. But
they get jackets.
They're going to need a lot of jackets, a new clubhouse, because
it's that broken down warehouse in Bloodhaven.
It's a warehome.
It's a warehome.
So most of them didn't take like a real hit, but I still in my head was like, I still remember Bioship not taking this one. Oh, okay, yeah, you egged up. Okay, yeah, okay, this is what I remember. This didn't. You took the most of that. Okay, yeah.
She needs a juice box and a nap.
And she's like, oh, and by the way, get this cosmic treadmill out of my gut too. By the way,
yeah,
just gonna throw that out.
Keep doing that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what is, I want to know if Zatanna's got like a ready to go reversed, like spell, fake our deaths or something, and then just be done.
She's not in the club. She hasn't done it yet.
It's the same as Wally needs pants. She just needs to have that one ready to go.
That's perfect. Hey, are we trying to make segues? Because here we go.
Wait. What am I forgetting?
So, but talking about the pants? Or
Yes.
Zatanna's
Zatanna's spell. I have all the spells ready.
I think everybody
No,
had pants.
sorry, Rich.
Oh,
no,
okay,
I have
great.
to loop back around.
What?
What am I forgetting that is Wally needs pants?
Oh, so in season 1, she makes the pants joke. She makes the pants thing for
Yes.
Red Tornado. So in our Whelmed Masks
Wally
game
needs
with
pants.
Brendan Conway, Neil was playing Wally, and he had like shorts on or something, and she made him pants. She made him pants out of
Zatanna
seaweed
wasn't
or
in that
something,
game.
and we were.
Zatanna. No, she.
Yes, she was.
Oh,
she was an NPC.
Sorry,
in that.
I'm
Yes, she
forgetting.
was. She was an
I haven't
NPC in
listened
the
to our
game.
Masks game in
So
too long.
she made Wally's she made Wally pants, and we kept joking about like that is just a thing
Yes,
she's got ready to
I'm
go
remembering.
because Wally is going to be destroying
I
clothes
apologize.
left
It's
and
been
right.
10 years since we played that game.
Oh no,
and
that's okay.
It did not click. Artemis.
It
wasn't
just struck
there.
me as
Zatanna
funny
was there
because-
as an NPC for a bit. Yeah,
That's right. Artemis was not.
Artemis
yes,
was
Zatanna
having
was
her
there.
own
Right.
comic book subplot. We decided she was off in an unreleased issue of the tie-in comics somewhere.
Right, exactly. There'll be a solo mask game following
It's
what she
just
was
Artemis.
doing during that. It's
Okay,
just Artemis.
I apologize. Neil, what do you have
All
to
right,
share
anyway.
that's
So-
actually on track for this episode?
So when she first shows
If we
up,
keep distracting
Oh, you're good.
ourselves, it doesn't end.
you have maintain levitation and invisibility glamour, fire burn and macabre bubble, fire burn and eyeball bubble, shield, which is classic. Hero heal thyself when she heals Superman, or I guess when she makes Superman heal himself. Cushion my and then is hit, and that spell doesn't really work out. And so also I wrote
She's
down
doing her best.
the bus.
Wait,
This
say
bus
it
would give
again.
Miss Frizzle a run for her money, and I missed this bus already.
It just be
because
zooming.
It blows
Yes.
up in the sky.
Yep. Oh man. Gosh. I'm sorry. We're just like It's the last episode, guys.
I'll distract.
Anyway, I'm having washes of emotions. Somebody else talk.
So I love that the family line is what triggers Connor to have all of his little memory string. It's very good. I like that a lot of those are stuff we haven't seen before. Like I feel like it would be very easy just to do the clip from season 1, but instead we have introduced a bunch of other things that we haven't gotten to see before, and it's nice. It's nice. I like it. That's my side note. The fight is awesome. We have so many season 1 callbacks in this fight. I feel like I'm just jumping around.
I know, that's what I was thinking too. Well, like so Superboy in the solar suit with
Fighting Calder.
Ladman. Yeah.
I'm going to loop back around to something, and we're going to talk about it and get it out of the way so it's not hanging over me the whole episode. We get Nightwing saying that McGann is a ball of sunshine and a terrifying demigod.
Oh, yeah.
This is fine. I'm fine and everything's fine. Part of why I like this line in the show, a thing that did not click when it was just a thing that we said on this podcast, but I think it is very cool in an episode in which everyone is constantly reminding us how once the sun rises, everybody will be fully healed and power up and all the Kryptonians, et cetera,
Yeah.
to call McGann a ball of sunshine about 5 minutes before she goes and fully heals a Kryptonian is a very nice thing. That was never the intention of this line when we would say it on the podcast, but is a very cool thing.
You're talking about that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's a metaphor.
I was just thinking, like, do you mean Zatanna? I was like, oh no,
Yes.
oh right,
I
Connor,
mean,
right.
yes.
When you pieced and all that callback to Bereft too.
With the music and
It's good.
The
Yep,
healing Connor scene is so
Yep,
good.
and then
it
the
gets me
whole-
every time.
the whole hi. I love that too.
I'm an absolute mess for the trope of two people just saying hi to each other like it's the most intimate thing in the world after an intense moment like that. It gets me every time. It's real good. It's such a good moment.
Yep.
I love that it's a callback to Bereft. I love that it's one of many season 1 callbacks in this fight. Some of them more obvious than others.
Yep.
This one is quite obvious. But it's so good. I love the little montage with the music. I love the way we get to this point. I really like that scene.
Well, let's say we're gonna get a lot of, I think.
We'll get to it.
Supermartian,
Other
wedding stuff. I had
Yeah.
non
I have
super
non-super
Martian
stuff too, I
stuff.
promise. Just-
I know you do. I see the notes. The moment of Saturn Girl letting Danny take his own agency with Macomb. You know, he's like, kick his butt out of my head. And she's like, I could, or you could do it. That moment of agency and thing like that is one of the things that I also love about this show, is that walking that line of like, we're heroes, and also that part of that is lifting other people up and do the thing. And Danny, so every time I see Danny, it just breaks my heart every time I see that poor kid in this box. But I love that. Chameleon Boy, he shapeshifted. Not all the Malifaux are green,
No.
right? No. So he changes into a green Malifaux, which is what Beast Boy does, right? You both look stunned.
I think my brain has always just assumed that from a production note side, that's just so we know which one's which in this fight. Because if we had two that looked the same, it would be so difficult.
Which if this was another show, I would absolutely agree with you. But there's like a whole, I mean, the fact that, okay, so the White Martian exile is going to Durla. Okay, I'm like, what a difference 1,000 years makes. I mean, like, so is that implying, like, this planet has nobody on it? Like, is this implying that the Ashen, like,
Yes.
evolved into
Yes.
the Durlans? So if that's the case, it's been 1,000 years. I have so many questions. Like, does Chameleon Boy know? Like, they can literally shape change into whatever they want. So is the design for Chameleon Boy is really good, by the way. Like, it's just a really beautiful, elegant design. I love that design for Chameleon Boy. In the original 70s comics, he was literally just like a teenage human guy with orange skin, bald hair, and some antenna. Like, that's great. But if you're like, is he choosing that particular form? Do all the Durlans look that way? That's a thing that's been brought up in the Legion for a long time, right? Like, and after 1,000 years, you'd think they would know the history of stuff.
Rich, tell me how much you know about 1,000 years ago.
Listen, we think about the Roman Empire all the time. That's the internet.
So,
and the only time I
True,
think about
true.
it is
I'm
every time
sorry.
the internet tells me
I'm
how much
sorry,
I do hear you,
I've literally never thought about it.
but we're not talking.
No,
we're not talking about 1,000 years ago with people who weren't an advanced alien race with telepathic powers that could literally just hand memories off to another generation.
I will throw out.
Via
I will throw
yes,
out what I
Emily?
remember.
Horrible
I will throw out this. I'm pretty sure
he
I
is a
brought this
horrible
up in
person.
Scream
You're not
something. If not, I don't know. We cover the same things multiple times on this show. I think then I
Yes,
had
we
the
do.
idea, and I have it again now. You think Macomb passed down the history of the White Martians exactly how it was to people?
No,
Like, no. I think that boy created a new origin story for this entire planet. So even like, I don't think Chameleon Boy knows this, not because information was lost, but because information was deliberately hidden. I think Macomb founded
I
that
don't
planet and
disagree
was
with
like,
that.
we're creating things from scratch and we get to decide what we're doing here.
so there's again more questions. Like, is Macomb ashamed of what happened? Did he change it? Why does Chameleon Boy not have some kind of hatred for humans or Kryptonians? Like, what did Macomb decide what the history was? I have no issue with him like changing the history, but as he lands there, I don't think he's regretting anything that he did. He felt like he was doing everything he should have done and was supposed to do, right? But did he carry on? He didn't carry on. I don't know. I just have questions. I just want to see, and I suspect Greg and Brandon have some answers to that. I would like to see what those are. And that also brings me to Daxam, because that brings up a bunch of questions for me. So now you've got an actual Kryptonian. I shouldn't say actual Kryptonian. Apparently, Daxam was a colony of Krypton. That's apparently a thing, maybe, because that's one of the takes. And I'm trying to remember if that was mentioned in the show. Does anybody remember if that was mentioned in the show? Because I don't think it was, but I'm not sure. So, but Daxam, the people from the Daxamites have the same powers as Kryptonians. They're not weak to kryptonite. They're weak to lead, which is a different thing. But if the Kryptonians had a colony on Daxam, and people like the Lanterns knew about the Daxam colony being Kryptonians, why did anybody tell Superman? Like, hey, by the way, the Kryptonians settled this planet, also under a red sun, which is interesting. But like, he settled this planet. Maybe there's some Kryptonian history or something else going on there. And again, 1,000 years in the future, I'm assuming Daxamites are there. It's not like she populated the whole planet, right? So I have more questions, and they're good questions. Like, ooh, there's something here that could be really cool. I want to know what that is. You know, it's like I wanted to see like where was the conversation between Connor and Clark when he was like, so my other dad is Lex, you know, like there's something there. Like, did somebody just not tell Clark, or are the Daxamites something separate? I don't know. I just have questions that I would still like to have answered.
So we're not given that answer. Yeah, Daxam is a colony orbiting a different sun, and I have to assume, you know, sheer speculation, that it's something where it's been long enough that it's the kind of thing that, like, I am a Daxamite, you are a Kryptonian. That's just how things are now, and they're not. I mean, yeah, Kryptonian heritage. Also, I would have been like, look, if they got powered up, I'd be like, look, there's a whole planet of people we can go pick up, and we can solve this problem. We'll just go pick them up, take them to our sun, and they'll beat up these guys, and then we'll right as rain.
And it's one of those things of like, how long?
Well, that's like, and
how long did that colony exist, et cetera, et cetera. We know that it's populated right now because when Lore gets scanned by the Green Lantern, he shows up as a Daxamite. He doesn't show up as a Kryptonian.
As a Daxamite.
It's like,
yeah. And is that that's because the computer's like, there are no Kryptonians. This reading must be a Daxamite.
I mean, which there's real world parallels in the sense that, like, you can have someone where they're like, oh, you lived here. Like, we can take a blood sample or DNA sample and be like, you lived here. And they're like, how did you know? And it's like all these genetic markers and other things. Let's go back one step. If he's the only one there on the planet, how are there more?
Who, Lore?
No.
Who, Lore?
What?
No, I want to go backwards.
Oh no, I remember Draven saying like, "Oh, this is a home for the Shen." So I suspect that he went and got a bunch of
people.
And it probably wasn't even all the whites. It probably wasn't even all the whites either. It was probably just like who wanted to leave and follow him.
Everybody
just might have.
No, did she kill him? No, she didn't kill them all.
She doesn't kill them.
Yeah,
that was
it seems like she kills them all. Yeah.
Everyone in the cave had followers. He had a group of people who agreed with him. Like, there's a non-zero chance that Macomb just sneaks back onto Mars and is like, "Hey, everybody, do I have a place to show you?"
Yeah, that's a. I mean, we're not getting into it now, but that's a wild in to try and justify the means argument for him. That I'm not playing. I'll argue for Jace. I'm not arguing for this one.
I don't think you should argue for Jace either, but that's
no.
a large
Oh no, I can't.
She's not in this
but hey,
I can't have fun with
this
one.
Season.
This one's not fun.
It's the thing about Macomb where it's like both him and McGann have the same knowledge of this planet and the same understanding that, like, hey, we're treated horribly, and they come to entirely different conclusions about how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Now we're going all the way back to the beginning of this season. But yeah.
Wait, hold on. Speaking of season 1 references, because someone used their voice, I was like, that means you're a person, and we need to know what person you are. So when the officer of the law says, we got to evacuate, well, that's none other than Whit Saunders, which obviously you remember, just like I definitely did, from season 1. Episode 3, his only other appearance, because when Mr. Twister went on a rampage, or when Mr. Twister was messing with Happy Harbor, he was helping. So he got a promo, I guess. He was like, I'm moving to Metropolis. Happy Harbor's just too much action.
Yeah, that man was like,
I don't want to be here no more.
Why do there keep being weird things initiated? Why do there keep being incidents initiated by weird teenagers in this small town in Rhode Island? I'm going to move to Metropolis where things make sense.
And someone's like, or they were like, wow, you really handled that crowd control well with that Twister situation. We got to promote
you. Man has
to
one job, and it's to evacuate people during emergency situations involving supervillains.
Dear listener, I know what your subsequent question is, and you're right. based on the law of conservation of DC characters, he did in fact show up one time in one comic in Superman, the Man of Steel number 129 in 1991. That's it. Because he died. So
incredible.
And that's it.
Well, this brings me to a question for Neil then, and we can cut this if you don't have an answer or it's too hard to find. There are like 2 random people in the crowd who say things last episode about Superboy not being dead. Are those people anybody?
Oh, in 25?
Yeah. Did you have that as a note and we skipped over it last week?
Possibly, because the other officer is Lupe, Teresa, Leo. We'll just stop at Lupe, Teresa, because then I can be fine. And she was last seen in season 2, episode 18, when she helped Toyman into custody.
Oh, right. When Blue Beetle took him down?
I assume so, but because it reminds me of this I'm not being able to pull out of my brain, but the kid who was always on like his device and keeps getting bumped into like all with all the superheroes. Same kid every time.
Yep. And season 3? Yeah. Speaking of season 1 callbacks, I have some just various ones from this fight, because this fight is just packed full of good little random references to earlier seasons, some of them more obvious than others. We have Zatanna saying that she needs to switch dance partners, which we have established before on the show is a thing people say when they need to switch villains. We have Kid Flash saving Artemis, because that's just what speedsters save archers. It's their job on the team, because the team makeup for this fight is original team plus Bart, because you need to have a speedster. We have Dick Grayson and Artemis teaming up to fight people with superpowers, because that's what the Trot team does.
Right.
We also have we have the West maneuver, but we specifically have Nightwing and Artemis being the ones who do the West maneuver, because of course it's the 2 people who are closest to Wally who get to have that callback.
Which is not lost on me that the West maneuver is just like one of the oldest, dumbest jokes ever, where someone just crouches down behind a person and the third person pushes them over the first person.
Because it's what Robin and Kid Flash do in the premiere.
But that's so funny.
It's
of course
the longest existing
simple but effective
team maneuver. Like, it's so early that it got a real name instead of a number.
It works.
It'll put your random cousin on their back as well as a Kryptonian. It works every time.
Long before we had Maneuver 7, we had the West maneuver.
They'll never expect it.
If someone's got humanoid knees, it's effective. That's
the only
knees. Requirement.
We can't do it.
They have far too many knees.
Too many.
4. Oh, you would only have.
I mean, 4. You can't do it to Malafak. They're like they get too many knees and they're facing the wrong directions.
We have the Superman Superboy combo, which is called back to the start of season 2. Which the combo that is just throw Superboy at top speed because that boy can't fly.
Yes. It's the DC Comics DC animated equivalent of the fastball special in the X-Men. I love it.
I didn't write this down, but it is a thing that I love. There is no conversation about it happening. The second you get this group together, they all link up telepathically. That it is just what happens, and I love it. It's like, you don't need a line of somebody being like, "Oh, it's like old times," or anyone telling McGann to do that. I'm like, these people have been friends for 10 years. Nope. It does not matter how long they go without fighting next to each other. That is just a thing they do. And it's so good. And we have at the very end of this, we have Connor saying, "I'm fine, feeling the Aster," exactly the way that he does in Schooled.
There's part of me, I didn't have the time to do it. I thought about doing it, but I really, and this, I guess this is why we say producer Neil. There's literally part of me that wanted to pull the audio and see how close, if it was the original line or if it was just asking Nolan. And Nolan obviously could, but if it was like, how close did we go? Did we pull it? Or did we just ask Nolan to get as close as possible? Which obviously he did, because for me, it sounded so close.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and we hear it's in every.
I mean, obviously, I've
few episodes. I've heard it a million times
in every episode. So then that's why I was like, I know, I have the clip. I'm ready for it.
I'm like, that sounds very close.
And I just realized now I didn't write it down, but us recapping the episode made me think of it. We also have the League showing up after everything is done and descending from the sky.
Yeah.
As they do.
What was the other season one? A lot. So much of it harkens back.
Because I'm like, I'm sure there's more. These are the ones
Yeah.
that I wrote down and caught this time through, but I'm like, I'm sure there's always more.
I mean, how many times did I watch season 1 over and over and was still catching stuff? And I haven't seen this season as many times at all, or this episode. This is probably the fourth time I watched this episode, to prep for this. Might have been the fourth or fifth.
I feel like this is probably the episode of season 4 that I've seen the most, and I don't know why that's happened. But I'm like, I feel like I've seen this one more than any of the other ones.
Because it's the wedding you've been waiting for 10 years. I'm just saying. Just off the top of my head.
Leave me alone, Rich.
Anyway. Yeah. Neil, last episode it might have been a little bit in Crash in the Moment. Right episode we were talking about Daily Planet Square.
Planet Circle.
Or Planet Circle. Sorry, yeah. There was a Chicken Wizzy, right?
We also see a Big Belly Burger, of course. Also, there's always these hot dog stands, and I don't think there's any name. I tried to do some research, but at this point, I refuse to believe that it has any other name than Glizzy because it rhymes with Wizzy, and that makes me happy. I don't want to call it Chicken Glizzy because that makes me sad. So, but other things we did see in this episode is that we see a LuxCorp sign this time, Catco, featuring Cat Grant, and Eye Spasm, which I had forgotten about that one because it's
Twitch.
related to Twitch. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. You were trying
no.
say
I like it.
It's actually. So, Neil, real quick, it's been so long since some of these other shows and stuff have been on. Maybe people who are listening to us don't know what Big Belly, the crossover Big Belly Burger situation. So, Big.
Well, you're not familiar? Well, it's in everything. That's why I don't know what you're specifically referencing because
I'm saying like in the live action Arrowverse, Flash, Supergirl, Big Belly Burger was a big deal. It's in here. It's just been, it was something it was a whole shtick there for a while. Yeah, that this one cross universe. They even mentioned it in some episodes, especially Flash when he was jumping back and forth to stuff. They're like, oh, there's always a Big Belly Burger somewhere. But the fact that it crossed over into the animated series too stuff I thought was actually kind of fun. So,
what is the real life equivalent? It's Big Boy Burger or Big Boy Restaurants. Is what
the Big Boy
I don't know if
Restaurants,
that's what we're. I assume that's what we're trying to get close to, but it's what I always think of. And yeah, the Arrowverse uses it constantly. Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The other one we do have though is that, and it makes sense that it's called the Daily Planet Circle. It does not make sense to me then that it is there. Okay. So, cause I brought it up last time, so we're going to talk about it again. Cause that means there was the thing on top of the Daily Planet and then right beneath the Daily Planet is another one because this circle is right by the Daily Planet building. That's what we figured out in this episode.
2 spheres.
Daily Planet building.
Yes. So they built one on top and they were like, you know what would be great? A second one at the bottom of this exact same building.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, it's an object that can be thrown by
also
in superhero fights. I mean,
this is okay. We will have an old man shouts at cloud moment right now because shout out to Metropolis for being able to use a roundabout and seemingly not crash into anyone because every time I go somewhere here in America, they don't do it very well. Oh, here in California, I will preface here in California, very well. They don't even make them very well.
First time I'd run into roundabouts as I was traveling back in the 90s, and they were really confusing at first, and then I was like, why do we not have these everywhere? They're so much better than a stop sign. It's wild to me.
Hard pass. No, because other people have to use them, right?
No?
so hard pass. If it was just me, great. But I've almost gotten into a lot of accidents where I'm just like, there are so many signs. Just follow those. The one I'm talking about that bothers me the most.
Yes, and that's
2 lanes.
What
There's only 2 lanes, and I've almost gotten in an accident constantly.
Yes. Anyway, enough of that. Good job, Daily Planet, Metropolis.
But that's pretty much all I have for
covered
the fight.
I have one more thing for the fight, which is that throwing it back to Scream something and everything. we know I love McGann. I love that this is a fight in which McGann has literally been told not to hold back and is still able to be in control of what she's doing, that this is a level of hard-won maturity and control over her powers that allows her to just guide the entire situation and incapacitate everyone that she interacts with without killing anyone and without mentally destroying everyone. Like, she knows what she's doing and she's incredible at it. I love my girl. I love her deeply frustrated one-liners. She's so tired. She just wants to take Connor and go home, and everyone keeps trying to kill her.
Stop trying to
Truly.
kill my man.
Galadriel Darkness McGann, but also completely put together McGann. I love her. I do love all of her lines. I love, you want to be a god, you have to go through me. Like, yes, you are the one that we have to go through.
Yeah, excuse me. We've had this conversation. So that in that scene, I was talking about the Eye of Ekron. And so that thing had its own consciousness, right? So it like flew out, chose her, did all that kind of stuff. Well, then McGann like just shuts her down. And the eye drops too, and then I'm like, okay, now I have more questions.
She could shut down both.
But we firmly establish via sound effects that it is in fact a real eye because it's squishy when it falls. So it's like,
oh really?
So I think it goes back to what I was referencing before. Like technically, there are two eyes of it.
Yeah,
that sounds so dumb when I say it, but obviously there are two eyes of Ekron. And
Ekron had two eyes.
Hey, okay, listen, though.
Binocular vision.
This is DC Comics.
He wasn't a Cyclops.
Ekron could have had 7 eyes for all we know.
Yeah.
But, and then,
or one.
The skull is used as a spaceship by somebody else. So, but yeah, it's firmly established in this lore. For me, as it falls, it goes squish. And so.
Well, and you're right, Emily. So I'm looking at that, I'm going, okay, so it's now made a really intense link with her, right? And McGann shuts everything down, and that means that, right? Like she's crawled through that link to also shut down the eye. So I mean, it just all has implications for future stuff, right? Like, so that eye is not as much of a threat if McGann can get, if Ursa, unless Ursa goes like Magneto and gets a helmet that protects her from, McGann's psychic powers or whatever, then like the eye suddenly becomes not as much of an issue. But I guess that would happen with almost any lantern. Now that I think about it, if McGann can crawl into their head and just shut stuff down, the only thing stopping her is herself.
I mean, it's the same. I mean, you have to think it wasn't doing anything when it was with lore. I mean, making it a D&D item again is that, lore couldn't attune to it, but Ursa could. But it also makes me think back to, earlier when, the early days when McGann couldn't control as much. And Simon was like, sweet, I'll just blast all 6 of you. Because you're connected and you have put up no safeguards.
Yeah, through the connection. Yeah, exactly.
Daisy chain. Oops.
Yeah, whoops, forgot to put up a firewall.
That and I on the Galadriel Darkness train, the moment where she connects with Macomb for 2 seconds just to say you were glad Connor was dead before letting him fall into a prison dimension, incredible. McGann just being like, I just want you to know, I could stop this right now, and I'm choosing not to because you have gone too far. From a season where everything we have seen with McGann, with Macomb for a good while in season 3 and season 4 is her being like, you can turn back at any moment. You can be saved. And the line for her was, you were glad my boyfriend was dead? Never mind. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done now.
I've tried. I've been here. We're done.
You got it.
What's very funny is that I had said that I was done with all my notes for the fight for you only to bring up your note and it actually be the only note that I had skipped over. Literally, I have the level of restraint that McGann manages to still have in this fight is wild. Because every time, like when she grabs the Emerald Empress's mind, again, I think back to that time where it's like, I'm going to watch this shatter. I remember watching it for the first time and be like, oh, you're dead. Like, this is it. Like,
it's like, nope.
And I was like, oh.
You don't know me at all.
Like,
that's what I want.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what she was saying,
that's what
right?
we call growth.
For sure, you're going to do it to Macomb. Oh, you didn't do it then either. Okay.
Have you?
Color me surprised.
Have you met a man named Simon? He's missing a few years of his life.
It's just good. The reason that this fight is so good is because even though this fight is fast, even though it is happening at rapid fire speed, every interaction in this fight matters for our characters and telling us who our characters are and showing us who our characters are and getting those resolutions of like letting Danny have that moment, healing Connor, getting to see all of these little interactions between all of the OG team, all of these callbacks, all of these little things. The final fight between Superman and Superboy and Zod and Lore and all of them is so good because it's the core of everything that Connor saying, this is how I show my loyalty to Earth and the people I love. And I'm like, that's the point. That's what this is about. That's what everything is about. And it's so good.
Yeah, talking it through, it's interesting to think about like how much the outcome is the antithesis of what Drew Zod wanted. Like it only further solidifies like, no, these are our heroes and they always, they're willing to die for it. And you broadcast that to the world. Thanks. The other thing I think is, especially talking it through, and like I have nothing to indicate this. I don't have anything from production notes or anything like this, but I refuse to believe anything else, is that Brandon had to help. Because it's, we've talked about it a lot. Like Brandon is amazing at doing these fight scenes. The one that always stands out to me is like doing the fight scene in the dark in season 3. And like, how do you, making that work for an animated show? I mean, making that work at all, a fight scene in the dark, but making it work for an animated show is stunning. But to have this many callbacks in a fight that works this well, and obviously Brandon's involved through everything, but like, I would bet my bottom dollar that Brandon had a substantial hand in making this fight exactly what it was.
I agree. That's the thing of like, a final fight in anything is only as good as how much it matters. And the way you make it matter is not the villain is the biggest, baddest thing we've ever fought. Oh no, how will we survive? The way you make it matter is by having characters we care about interacting with each other. That's what makes big final fights cool. Yes, it's very cool to see Superman and Superboy punch Drew Zod into a prison dimension. That's a cool shot. But it's only really impactful because of those character relationships and because of what that means and what everybody means in this fight.
Like, I mean, I think we've talked about this, probably even some Canary debriefs about, like the idea that fight scenes should build character, like dance numbers should build character, like all that stuff should, it should all tie together that way. Like everything should do more than one thing, right? So agreed on that. Is that everything before the wedding? Anybody have anything else before the wedding?
No. I mean, that is everything before the wedding.
Transitions us to the wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I always forget. I forget that this, like, my brain always thinks that this fight scene is longer because of how much happens in it. Like, rewatching it, I was like, oh, this is only like
there's a lot.
10-minute portion of this episode. My mind thinks it's 20 minutes and it's not.
Yeah. I got to the end of it the last time I was watching it I took notes last week and I was just like, wait, we still got a whole wedding to go. There's a lot more going on in this episode. Agree, because the choreography is just so tight. It's just so gorgeous, like Neil was saying. It's just beautiful. I was trying to type all the codes coming through the Zeta tubes. And it's just, you just get to see everybody. There's a ton of people. I was thinking, like, is there anybody that we're not seeing, that we didn't see visually, that we hear about or whatever? But the thing that got me that was the funniest is that Bruce Lee has
a Zeta
designation.
How is he going to get through?
Of course he does. And I heard that. And I'm like, oh, of course. The pets all have to have designations too.
I want to know when Bruce Lee got his designation. That's the context I want. Because I get that the other ones all probably got a designation when they became, like they have to go into battle. That lizard and that wolf go into battle. But like,
yeah.
The implication is that Artemis and Wally got Bruce Lee in college when they were no longer fighting crime. When did they go, okay, but we gotta scan the dog in case, like.
I mean, they may be showing up for any number. Hey, we're having a potluck this weekend. Everybody just come to the Watchtower and bring the dogs. Pets welcome. The other thing that I would have loved to have seen, I just love Black Canary, man. Black Canary is just like, she's just like this cornerstone of stuff that I've been wanting to see in comics for so long, about these poor people need a therapist so bad. But like having this moment where she starts talking about Sanctuary, and I was like, oh, I want to see that. And so Neil, you and I were talking about this right before we started recording. You got some info on that for us.
Yeah. Dude, it sounds great. And then it's one of those things where often it makes me think of this is fast. It makes me think of The Walking Dead. Anytime I was watching The Walking Dead and they seemed like they were happy, I knew something terrible was about to happen. So
it's going to happen.
To Sanctuary. Yeah. Typically in DC lore, it's located in Nebraska. Using Kryptonian technology, they build this place, and it's staffed by artificial intelligence robots imbued with the will of Batman, compassion of Wonder Woman, and the honor of Superman. Yeah, until everyone gets massacred inside. And that's...
Because...
I'm sorry. Wait, sorry. The will of Batman, the compassion of Wonder Woman, and the what?
Honor of Superman.
The honor of Superman.
And then we start a fun little storyline called Heroes in Crisis.
Yes. So the thing is that, we've seen this a few times in Young Justice, where there's some storylines or some ideas or concepts that are like, wow, that looks really good on paper. And then it didn't really pan out well, or didn't age well. So like, I don't know, Killing Joke.
You can do Judas Contract without the weirdest part of it.
Without the weird part of it. Yeah, exactly. So I'm thinking, so this is why I think I was excited to hear mention Sanctuary, because I was like, okay, let's see this done. Let's see this done, in Greg and Brandon way. Like, where, okay, yeah, some supervillain is probably going to attack at some point, or something is going to blow up that shouldn't have. I mean, that may happen. But like, I'd be interested to see how they would handle that, and especially run by their interpretation of Black Canary, right? Who is so good, and the way that therapy is handled, and the way that conversations are handled, the way that character growth is handled in the show. I would be really excited about that. So what do you think, Neil?
I think the rest of me wants to talk about this and crashing.
Oh,
interesting. I'm on board
because I know what the end of this is, and I don't feel good about just spoiling this.
We have Crashing the Mode in the final.
I don't feel like spoiling this. Yeah, because it gives me an idea. It gave me an idea.
I see.
Yeah, so
I like that.
I
like it.
I'm good. So we'll see.
This is our speculation flights of fancy part of Crashing the Mode. I love it. Anyway, I thought the idea was cool, and I'm interested to see where they would have necessarily gone with that. I mean, I've got some notes for the wedding, but I'm sure there's a detailed thesis floating around
somewhere
in here somewhere.
There's a full
about
page
this wedding.
of just everything good. Neil, do you have any notes before I give a TED talk?
Oh, for sure. So McGann's parents Zeta in at 1616 EDT on September 16th. So, like, if there's any things that I feel like jab directly towards me, it's that one. Also, when Greg as Lucas, right? Yeah, Lucas.
Yeah,
Carr,
Greg.
Snapper got in the way of all Lucas, Carr, and Snapper all tried to get out of my mouth at the same time. It didn't go well. But also, Greg as Lucas Carr, trying to pronounce Ceridiol.
Right.
Getting the thumbs up. I was like, hey, that almost felt personal, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So those are the two out of this episode where I was just like,
that could be aimed at you.
I don't know. I didn't like this.
Sorry, Ceridiol, and what was the other thing? I had a revelation and had to check a different outline. We'll get to it. Sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, when McGann's parents show up, and they show up at 1616 on the 16th.
Right, 16th.
Yeah.
Let's see how many 16s we can get into a spot.
And then the other one
Neil.
is that, it's the very, very end when they're floating. Specifically, he says they're floating 16 feet in the air. I mean, obviously the 16 references are everywhere.
What about the other 0.16%?
And include 0.16% that a Chameleon Boy points out. And then you also have Looker's designation
missed
as
that
E16. One. Well, yeah, because then Brainiac says it's
99.84%.
Yeah. And he's like, but what about the other 0.16? And that's why it doesn't register the same, because he says, what about the other 0.16?
Yeah.
And then, Looker is designated as D16 and Guardian is currently 16.
One of the things I did look up, and I don't know if I was disappointed, but when Brainiac shows up, also great design. I've talked about this before. Great design on the Legionnaires. Brainiac shows up. I was like, ooh, his voice sounds familiar. And I went back to check to see if they'd grabbed the original voice actor from the Legion of Superheroes animated series that Brandon directed most of the episodes of, and it was not the same voice actor. But I thought for a second there, that seems like a Young Justice thing that they would do, is pull something from there. But it is not. But I would love a Young Justice style Legion. That's all I'm going to say. I've said it a lot on the show. Not quite as much as Emily's love for Super Martian,
it's
but
pretty
pretty
close.
It's pretty close. Pretty close. So I'm going to just get one more in there in case you need something else to do. Legion, YJ style.
I mean, we got asked on DC Daily what we wanted out of season 4, and I said Super Martian wedding, and you said Legion. So
Legion. So, you know what? Huh? Ask and you shall
predict
receive.
accident.
Okay. Anyway, your answer was more apostrophes, I think.
I want, you know what I want? I want all the Martians to live on the war world. It'll be great.
You know what we need? We need the Martian name for War World that is harder to pronounce.
World?
Yeah, we got it.
I walked right into that one. I just saw the door and slammed my face into it. I did. That's what happened.
We were ready. That was awesome.
I'm gonna have to mute myself so you can get on with the show.
No, this is part of the show. I just appreciate that we both got to it at the exact same time.
I know. Yeah. That's how good. I'm watching your faces when you both you both kind of cocked your head and pointed at me and said the same thing.
Sir, we know exactly what it is. How dare you?
I don't feel like I've laughed this hard since that commentary episode where you nearly killed me.
You can't date Batman.
You can't. Oh my gosh. All right. Where were we? I totally forgot. Well, or we're Earled. Okay, great. Where are we at?
Hey, Neil, speaking of September
Yes.
16th, and Rich,
Yes.
do you know why September 16th matters in the Young Justice universe?
Not off the top of my head.
I had to check this because it popped into my head and I went, am I right about this? And I just went and opened up an outline from 10 years ago because September 16th, Team Year Zero, is McGann and Connor's first kiss.
Oh, I was going to ask if it was Terrors. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Which was not their plan,
Nice.
wedding day. This was not. So that's the universe lining up for them. And much bulletin boards with flashcards.
Speaking of Terrors, also I could be misremembering this. Emily, didn't you say something a long time ago about it'd be really funny is if Icicle Jr. shows up.
I said in true, I am a little bit psychic, but only about things that don't matter fashion. I, over a year or more before this, years before this episode came out, over a year before season 4 started, during DC Daily, when we were talking about the possibility of a Super Martian wedding, and I think it was Hector Navarro was like, okay, but what supervillain crashes everything and ruins it? I'm like, no one. Icicle Jr. shows up and is a perfect gentleman. I was like, this is exactly how it goes down. And sometimes I'm a little bit psychic, but only about things that don't matter. It doesn't matter that I could predict that Icicle Jr.'s at this wedding. It just means it's good story narrative continuity.
Exactly. You could predict, yes, that is exactly what needs to happen right here. Yeah.
I mean, he's got an inhibitor collar and handcuffs, and easily you'd be like, oh, how could we possibly get clearance for this? Show them the guest list.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, show them the guest list. There isn't anybody that's not going to take that kid down. Not a kid anymore.
Again, this was last minute. I really want to know what that conversation was. Who had to call Amanda Waller and be like, we need one guy.
Speaking of the random guest, the Marvin line was so funny to me. I'm like, you could see that there would be so many situations where Marvin was just missing. everything about how he's like, the reason I didn't know all my friends are superheroes is because everybody thought I already knew.
Which
Great.
to me raises it leads to me having the question of when did Wendy find out? Because Wendy's been known, but I want to know when. Because I'm like, did she know in season 2? Like, because that's fun.
I feel like Wendy knew in season 1.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Something happened with McGann on that cheer squad, and she's like, you know
Yes.
what? Sure.
I think something, and then she's putting all the pieces together, and she just assumed for no good reason that Marvin would piece them together, which is struck me as so funny. Anyway, the other question I had in regarding Icicle Jr., where Connor was like, everybody's in on the gag, right? Like everybody's in, everybody knows that there's superheroes showing up, and I'm like, I'd have to go through. I didn't do this until afterwards when I was thinking about it. I need to go back and look through it. I'm like, so could Icicle Jr. make out anyone's secret identity from what's happening here, besides the fact that it's at Lucas's house? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think this kind of plays into the thing that we touch on in season 3.
yeah,
That for a certain level of villain, the secret identities aren't secret. Everyone just agrees to not mess with that.
the nuclear option they were talking about. Okay,
Yeah.
so
And I think the ones
I
where
get
it
that.
would really matter, like Batman shows up as Batman. Like the couple that it's like that are real locked down about this, like are still locked down at this
you're
wedding.
like, no, thank you. I will be showing up in a dress bat outfit. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
I will wear the nice cape, but I will be wearing
I will
a cape.
wear my bat bow tie.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's that weird thing of like Icicle Jr. is just Superboy's buddy. Like I don't think Icicle Jr. is ever gonna legitimately try to kill anyone at that wedding ever.
Yeah, that's true.
He's just like, nah, I do crime, but I'm not a monster.
right. Well, I mean, like Looker doesn't have a mask. Like, there's other people who have.
Yeah.
I think
Half
Looker's
of them don't have masks.
Yeah, Looker's
Zatanna uses her real name to do everything.
Her real stage name. You're not wrong.
Zatanna
you know what?
Zatara, also known as Zatanna, who is both a famous magician and a member of the Justice League, and everyone goes, "That girl's
as opposed
fine."
to Artemis, who goes by Artemis.
Your real name is Artemis Croc. I looked you up on the internet in 5 minutes.
Yeah, because you also have to think like, okay, so I think or reframe the question. Like the better question is, what information could he gain that was not already known? And I don't think there's any. Because like, yeah, I mean, oh, that's wild. The Kents are here. And like, sure, but we're not piecing that together. But almost everyone that's sitting in the crowd is still like costumed up. It's only the wedding party that's, dressed up.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go through and like who's what, where, when. Like Jonathan, not Junior. I don't know what you call him.
Johnny
Kent's there. Yeah, Johnny. He's there. Yeah, and he looks just like Superman. He's just a tiny little Superman. As is Connor, obviously. Anyway, okay. Icicle Jr. popping out from behind.
He's in the wide shot, but he is perfectly being covered by someone else.
I noticed that when
and he's
I watched
the only one who is. They made that wide shot intentionally so you can tell exactly who is in that crowd, except for trying to delay the Icicle Jr. reveal. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Speaking of how many people are in this crowd, McGann and Connor's wedding has what I described as we invited every semi-relevant NPC to the celebration energy. Because deep cut all the way back to Adam Strange and Alana are still together.
Yes, please.
Who were in one episode at the start of season 2. Throwback to over 10 years ago.
Not being pedantic, were they 2 episodes? 1 episode.
Adam Strange shows up again at the end of season 2, doesn't he?
Well, no.
At the beginning of season 3, when they're all doing the fight, and Black Lightning figures out that he unfortunately murdered an 11-year-old.
Well, I was also thinking, like,
I
think what I'm thinking of is Adam Strange with the help of Martian Manhunter telling the flashback story of him being on Ran. Like Alana was like in that flashback scene. I think maybe that's what I'm thinking of. And then actively in the next episode. Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm staring at it. The fact that it's Double X and Craig.
Yeah, and they got
all Craig because Craig is
they
on.
showed up. You could hear them being beamed in with the Zeta tube too.
A total random aside. Well, I mean, we could have really probably sat these Martians to somewhere else in the front row because let's be real, nobody behind.
You know what? There could be like a
Yeah.
Martian politeness
Like
thing of actually shrinking yourself down to an appropriate size.
Intangible.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go intangible.
Right.
Speaking
invisible.
of the wedding part, again, I have so many bullet points about this wedding. And
Yeah.
there are things that I know they're not important to saving the world, but they're real important to this wedding and to my enjoyment of it. Other wedding details, I'm never going to be over. You mentioned the bridal party. This is such a small thing. I love that all the bridesmaids have different dresses. This is just a real world thing. I love that they all have different dresses in the right color.
That's literally what I was thinking right now.
Because good. You can all have something that matches and reflects your style, and it's fun and it's good, but we have the wedding colors. Also, I've had this thought recently. I would love to do this cosplay group. No one would know who you are at any convention, but getting together a group of enough women to be McGann and her bridal party would be so fun.
That would be great, especially if you had a Connor who had like the makeup for like the stuff going on with his face.
No, his face is all fixed at this point. He's all healed up. He's
I
got
guess
a buzz.
he got a buzz cut. Oh, you're right. I guess
Poor
he does.
Connor's hair. I can't complain.
Now the real question is, how did he get that eyebrow back so fast?
What?
Well, it's not so because it's just that his hair was uneven because only half of his hair got burned off in the lava. So it was just about starting fresh so that you're not dealing with that. I've thought about the logistics of this situation, Neil. Like
This is a woman who was traumatized by a pixie cut back in season 2. So you know what I'm saying? She's thinking about hair. I killed him.
you really got to attack me like that, Rich.
I wasn't attacked. It was just an observation.
This is a terrible prank, but I've always said if you ever are going to be a bad person and shave off someone's eyebrow, only do one because then you have to leave them with the choice of what they do next.
Yeah, that would be you.
Do you shave off the other one? Do you try and pencil it in?
Anyway, meanwhile, back to the wedding party. Enough of Neil's pranks. This is why I'm not staying at a hotel with you for the D20 cruise, Neil. I wake up missing
so derailed.
facial hair. Anyway,
No, don't attack each other. See,
Tim Drake.
Were you all only well put together in an Airbnb because I was also there? Is that the only
Yes.
reason neither of you attacked each other in the middle of the night?
No.
Mhm.
Yes, pretty much. Tim Drake, tell me.
We're getting to the Tim Drake bit because the other thing is, if you look at this group, everybody who's dating someone else in this configuration of 10 million heroes is sitting next to them and is paired with them.
Yeah.
Green Arrow and Black Canary are next to each other. Alana and Doctor Strange are next to each other. Violet and Harper are
Violet
sitting
and
next to
Harper.
each other, holding hands. So sweet. Good for them. Tim Drake, to quote a thing I said previously, and I just copied this over because I think it's hilarious. Tim Drake has apparently been living through a roller coaster of a romantic subplot entirely off screen. First,
Yes.
Wonderbird in seasons 2 and 3, and now him and Spoiler are all cuddled up in the background of this wedding. Just, he is living the most chaotic situation that we have never gotten to see.
Tim.
I want backstory, and at the same time, I just think it's really funny to just throw him and
Just let
Spoiler
it have
together
it.
at this point.
Yes.
Just be like, that happened. Don't worry about it. There's the off somewhere. He is living his best teen drama fueled life in a
Yes.
tie-in comic we will never see.
Nice. Hey, don't throw that out in the universe.
Baron Dreamer also there. Also,
That was great.
Also paired next to each other. I think it's funny that are they the only two new gods that show up? Like, it's not the whole team.
I
No.
don't think they're.
Oh no,
Orion,
Orion's
yes, because
Ryan's there.
he's involved in everything else. But like the rest
not-
of the new gods
Yeah,
team,
not the rest of them.
like from season 1, is
Oh
not there.
no, but he's being classy. He's not wearing his helmet.
I want him
Now we
so
know who he
badly to
is.
just have a bow tie on his like red outfit.
Gotta dress it up just a little bit.
Oh, and then of course both forge.
Oh.
Yes.
Each other.
Yeah. Again, it's just all the little relationships out there in the crowd. You got to sit next to your person.
Oh, Blue Beetle and 13 are looking longingly at each other in the shot.
I love it.
Team Atlantis is all sitting together.
It's all good. It's despite me joking that it's everyone these two have ever met, it's also like, it's just good. It's just good to have everybody there. Because it's the thing. This is the thing about comics, and this is a thing specifically about weddings and comics that is kind of my favorite thing about superhero weddings and comics, that it just gives you an excuse to have everybody there. It's so good. And it's so good because it gives you excuses to bring in characters who who should be there, not be there for any other reason. Like, to tie this into something else, I deeply love Rogue and Gambit's wedding in the comics, in X-Men comics. That is so convoluted. If you have not looked into it before, it's incredible. They steal someone else's wedding. But despite stealing someone else's wedding,
That tracks.
Rich, do you not know about this?
No, I was laughing because I was like, that tracks. Yeah.
The
killer wedding.
The 2-sentence explanation of it is that Kitty Pryde and
Peter
Colossus, yes, we're supposed to get married as part of like a 5 or 6 issue arc in comics, and she panics at the last minute and breaks it off. But the entire X-Men are still gathered there, and everybody at one point is having a conversation about like, she's just, she panicked. Maybe this isn't what she wants out of her life. And they're like, you got to know who you want to spend the rest of your life with. And Gambit just kind of pauses, looks across the room, and just walks over to Rogue. He's like, want to get married right now? And she's like, yes, absolutely. Actually, that sounds incredible. And then they get married, and it's great.
That's fantastic.
They then did in the Mr. and Mrs. X series that followed, they did a flashback of more stuff from that event that included throwing in like Mystique was there just because of course she was. She just showed up, and she only showed up because she's like, hey, I heard my daughter is getting married. I've showed her. You're like, Mystique should not be here, but it's incredible that she is. They throw in Wolverine for 2 seconds, who shouldn't have been there because of other comic stuff going on. He just kind of stands on a roof somewhere and is like, good for them, and then like leaves back into the woods. Like, it's
so
great.
Neil probably remembers this, but it was already a running joke in the 90s where Wolverine was in every team. Like it was an episode. There was like I don't remember what issue comic it was because he was in the Avengers, he was in the Fantastic Four, he was in all the X-Men teams, he was doing everything everywhere. And there's like somebody's like signal device goes off, and Wolverine reaches into his pocket and pulls out, and he's got like 7 of them. Like he's got like a Fantastic 401 and an X-Men and Avengers. He's got like a handful of. He's like, nope, not me, or whatever, and then moves on. Yeah, because he was. It's so funny. Anyway, away from Marvel, back to this.
Okay, that's just always the one that's in my head because it's an incredible comic book wedding. I love superhero weddings that let you have every single character you could possibly imagine be there. And that's why it's fun. This wide shot is here for this exact reason, so that you can pick through that and go, who is here?
Yeah.
Who is everyone sitting next to? It's incredible.
So since I've been digging through this and this is just wild speculation because of like people that are looking longingly at each other seem to be coupled up. The fact that Cyborg and Arrowette are staring at each other the entire shot is blowing my mind.
They're in the same teen drama as Tim Drake. They're the subplot in that story.
Yeah. I don't know.
Never noticed
Maybe.
that one before. Why not? What's their ship name, Internet? Like Livewire and Mist are sitting next to each other and looking at each other. Like, it's everybody. They do have everybody is in that shot, and everyone who could be paired up is paired up. There's the High School Junior line. That's incredible. It's perfect. Thank you. I also love that he apparently catches the bouquet at the...
I love Greg saying, I didn't see that coming.
Handcuffed.
Well, and then the
truck
trucker
walk.
steals it and he's like,
What is that?
High School Junior successfully caught that bouquet while handcuffed, and also leads me to go, so we let High School Junior stay for the reception. Like, this guy was like, yeah, you get full day off.
He needed a ride back, and nobody could give it to him.
Speaking of wedding, Neil, you had all of the Zatanna spells, but did you throw in whatever one hers is here at the wedding? She cues the music.
Wedding music.
Oh, it's just wedding music?
This one's actually... Yeah, and this one's actually like in the they're not always this way, but this one is actually in the closed captions.
In the subtitles, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the times it just says like speaks backwards or speaks magic.
A lot of times it says speaks foreign language or speaks Latin.
Yeah, that's not how
that was one of the subtitles that speaks Latin, and I'm like, what is going on over there? Anyway.
Well, I mean, some of them do.
Yeah.
Her,
Speaks
There's just 10
foreign
million
language.
ways to do magic in the DC universe, and they're all special. The little other random little things that I call out because someone made these choices, so I'm going to appreciate them.
Yes, I've seen this. This is
The
great.
flower arches look
Mhm.
like the Martian wedding canopy.
Uh-huh.
Because yes, perfect. I just love the bioships being there. What else do I have? Oh, also, I feel like I vaguely referenced this in the Scream something, but when rewatching it, I went and actually did some looking into it. McGann's wedding dress is 100% 70s vintage, and specifically 70s vintage. Like, it's not just vintage, it's the 70s.
Yep.
And that matters because you're acting like a character from a 70s sitcom.
From the 70s show.
I
yep.
like this idea that McGann just has an affinity for that exact decade. It's the high neckline with the lace overlay. It is all over the 70s. Google it. Google 70s vintage wedding dress, anyone listening, and you will be like, oh, all of these look like McGann's dress. I see you, season 4 character designer. I see you and I appreciate you. I forgot to put this. Yeah, I have a note there that's the most summed up version of this. But 1,000,000 years ago when we did the Scream something for this, both of you were like, and what's up with the flower in McGann's hair? Is it the poisonous flower? Is it whatever? And it's not. I went and looked back at all the comics. It's not the poison flowers that Connor gives her in Bialia, because he doesn't know any better. He's trying his best. And it doesn't look like any flower we've seen like in relation to McGann before on the show. So the only thing that I have, and this could be so far off the mark, and this could absolutely be a stretch, but the only visual reference that comes to mind for me with this is that Ariel in The Little Mermaid wears something similar in her hair, both in a lot of promo materials and in the movie in one shot. A movie from the 80s, but still. And I'd say that was a stretch, but we know canonically that McGann likes mermaids. So I'll throw it out there.
Interesting. Here, I'm bringing up a picture of it for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm looking. It does look, it looks very similar. I'm going with that. It's canon.
It's like,
Done
again,
and done.
Is this total stretch? Maybe, but I have to throw it out there just in case. Sometimes we got to say that. And for anyone who's going, where the heck do we know that McGann canonically likes mermaids? It's referenced in the tie-in comics. Read the tie-in comics. The first time she goes to Atlantis, she decides to make herself a mermaid whenever she's underwater, and specifically says it's because she likes mermaids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we see it multiple times.
So I think that's me covering everything about this wedding. I will get off my TED Talk stage. Thank you for your patience.
I've been wanting to stand out of the way of Emily in this wedding. Post credits.
Yes.
Come on, man. Come on.
Well,
What?
wait,
What do you
hold
got?
Metron be Metroning.
Yes.
I'm here for
So, yeah, absolutely. I guess that
Dramatic
isn't
irony.
post credit. Yeah. What I love, the feeling in my body was like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? I had the same thing, saw that thought of Orion going like, that doesn't sound very Metron. What is he up to? Right? What nonsense is he doing? There's some experiment I was a part of. Oh, okay, that sounds right. I'm like, what is happening? And then he like goes back and I'm like, why is he there? Like, what? And then he gets, I'm like, it can't be good. And then he gets out of the time bubble and it disappears. And then we got the shadow on the wall. And by this time, I had completely forgotten about that shadow on the wall.
Yeah.
Completely. Like, I would have gone through the whole... The next time I watched the season, I would have been like, oh, what happened with that? But, like, that's the kind of stuff that's just like, oh, guys, like, chef's kiss, beautifully done. Wow. And also that lore, we don't need 2 lores in the universe either, so let's snuff one of them before another one's born on Daxam, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so good.
Oh, come now. We think that's why he did it?
I was like, this is completely...
Oh, no. I'm saying from a writer's standpoint, no one needs 2 lores running around. Yeah. So really, really well done.
It's like Metron entirely did that because that boy stole from him and knocked him out one time. Like,
how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. So watching the post-credit thing, which is just like, oh, all of the, how did they get to the Phantom Zone and take all the Kryptonians? Oh, Clarion, Why are you so Clarion? Why did you let them do that? Why did you do that? And I'm like, this is, I'm thinking back to the feeling I had when, at the end of season 2, when Vandal shows up and shaking hands with Darkseid, and you're just like, oh, what is going on? Right? And this is like 10 times worse than that. Right? It's just so worse than that now he's got, Mongol and like all these people, right? And I'm just like, this is wild. And I don't think it can get any worse. And then it's like, oh, except for the one Kryptonian we had to give to Darkseid. And I'm like, oh, seriously, what is happening? And then we get the Mary Marvel showing up, and I'm just like, and then Kara. I want so badly everything that happens after this. The Kara storyline where Kara is found in the Phantom Zone and is with Darkseid first is actually a really interesting take. I like that take. And then getting rescued and all of that kind of stuff. And I want to see what Greg and Brandon were going to do with that version of Kara, whether she was in the Phantom Zone or whether she was in a ship like Clark and just got off course, or what they were going to do with that.
I also want to shout out the character designs for both of them.
Yes.
For this shot. It's so good. Especially knowing what Kara's Fury's outfit sometimes looks like. This is a big improvement. Like this a whole lot more than some of this out there in the world. And just her and Mary Marvel both look fantastic for that lineup and how they've designed them in that group.
And it's the gut punch of the Mary storyline.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's what happened. Right. And that's like just awful. And then they top it off with Kara. And like, how could this get any worse? Oh, thank you. I hate it. Like, wow. So I don't know. Anybody else have any comments on that?
It's good.
Oh, I mean, you still have a foil inside that group because it's Big Barda. So, I mean, like, I feel like that's the string you pull.
100%.
I mean, they've already set that up because we had that flash forward during Clarion going through stuff of flash forward 1 year in the future, and Big Barda counts as trying to find a hero in the timeline. It's good. Seeds were laid.
Yep. As usual. I want to see what happens next.
Just give it another 7 years and it'll reappear out of nowhere. DC will start another streaming service.
With a 7 called HBO Maximum Plus or something. I don't know.
Wait, we all do get that we probably don't have to wait 7 years for that to be true, because Warner Brothers is being bought out right now.
They're being bought out. Wait, what's happening? Again?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. I did hear about this. What else we got? Is there anything else? Is that it? I mean, anything else on the episode?
The other stuff. I mean, I'm gonna say terrible things.
Okay, that's kind of where I want to get to. Let's do that. Let's roll into this mid-roll, and let's hit some Crash in the Mode.
Welcome to the Fake Your Own Death Club. Its membership is very exclusive, and I'm the president.
Hello, team, and welcome to the mid-roll. Producer Neil here, as is usual, and this will be a relatively short one because it's our final review episode. And it's very long, in case you didn't see that in your feed. We clocked over 2 hours for the first time. I mean, it is the longest episode of Young Justice, as you heard. So why not be the longest episode of Whelmed? I'll say, as always, a huge shout out to anyone that has listened to us once, twice, for 10 years, for 10 minutes, no matter what. We appreciate you and we thank you. For things coming up, not sure exactly what my timeline is on this here blooper reel because it's substantial. But I'll have that as well as an Intel update combined here before too long. That I know in the hopper, we also are looking at doing the targets as well as going back and doing 3.9, the prize, as well as the video game. These are some things we're kicking around. We have something else in the hopper, but again, I'll wait until that, make sure I got that completely shored up and announce that in the Intel update instead. I will give you a little heads up on what's about to happen in Crashing the Mode, because it is going to get emotional. So just heads up. And with that, let's get back to the show.
Tell us something we don't know yet.
Sorry, BB. We can't risk altering the time stream. We do that, we're all feeling the mode.
So earlier segments assume listeners have only seen up to the entire 4 seasons. In Crashing the Mode, we'll be discussing spoilers and foreshadowing for future episodes, thoughts, whatever, as well as plot elements from the original DC storylines that may affect what we see later on. We may also drop theories right now and speculations right now about what's to come based on Wild Flights of Fancy. All right, is this all Sanctuary stuff, Neil?
Like,
yeah.
I have Emily, one note first, that's actually about spoilers for Young Justice content, because the whole thing of like Perdita breaking up with staying broken up with Gar, they already broke up, comes up again in the Targets comics, where the Targets comics include a whole storyline of Perdita getting attacked and kidnapped again and stuff, and that happening, and everyone laying down the law that like, no, Perdita is part of the nuclear option, even if she's not dating Gar. We're making this blanket announcement to everybody. You can't keep trying to kill her. She counts as family. Stop it. And it's a good moment in those comics. It's one, I haven't read those comics in a bit. That bit sticks in my head because it's good. And I like that it's kind of set up here as kind of just like it's the smallest seed setup for the post season 4 tie-in comics, but it's there and I like it, and I like how it plays into that storyline and that idea of like, no, she is part of the extended Super Martian family, whether or not her and Gar stay together. Yeah. She is also canonically part of the extended Flash Archer family. Like she's covered from all sides.
Which actually brings up, I actually did forget to mention something, which is that scene with Perdita and Gar. Which is so healthy and good and okay that she's like, I love you, and also I've moved on. Like, we tried. And I really, really like that scene too. So, yeah. And then, Neil, you had Sanctuary?
I can see what this bullet note says.
It's bad. It's a Sanctuary. It's bad. That's the notes, everybody.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's set up as like exactly the way that Black Canary describes it. It's like supposed to be a refuge for when you've had too much of the superhero life and you need a moment. And to kick things off for Heroes in Crisis is basically Superman arrives and finds one of the heroes dead, only to then confirm 3 more are confirmed to be dead, including Lagoon Boy. And
who all died?
Booster, the Blue Jay, Hotspot, Lagoon Boy, and Commander Steel. And then so Superman's there, and then Batman and Wonder Woman are trying to show up, and Booster Gold and Harley Quinn are fighting each other. Oh, yeah. And then Superman enters the Sanctuary to confirm the death of the Flash and Arsenal. And it's also doing this like wild back and forth between like showing their like video sessions from like kind of like their trauma, and then that they're dead. And so it's just, it's just a lot for a storyline. But the part that I didn't want to talk about, because I don't really like being like, hey, yeah, we're just going to say who done it. But I'm going to tell you guys, I guess.
Spoilers for Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah. So the murderer is Wally.
I can see Rich's face, who is not happy.
I'm so confused.
Horrendous.
Who?
Yeah. I have not learned more. I don't remember why. I just remember that. I just remember that that's the solution, and sort of reading all of it, which I'm not going to do right now, obviously. But
that's not.
What if
that's not?
comes back?
That's not real. None of what you said is real.
That's not real.
None of that's real.
No. Wally is.
Nope.
I'm not putting that into short-term or long-term memory, Neil. Tell us about Sanctuary, Neil. Mm-hmm. Tell us what really happened.
For about 3 months, it was great.
For about 3 months, the story was good?
Mm-hmm. No, for about 3 months, it actually existed as a place for people to feel better. And then
Wally became a serial killer.
Sometimes comics make choices.
No.
Can I present you with my college thesis that had many a moment of me having to be like, comics make choices sometimes, and sometimes they're not good?
No, I don't know. No. And there have definitely been times in comics where I'm like, that sounds terrible. And then I read something, I'm like, actually, that's pretty good. I mean, bringing Jason Todd back was a huge one where I was just like, what are we doing? We killed that guy. And then I'm like, you know what? Actually, you made him who he should have been the whole time. And that's great.
Yep.
I haven't, nope with Wally. Nope. And I cannot believe that Craig or Brandon would bring Wally back in Sanctuary as a serial killer.
You think that would go well with this viewership, with this audience? You think that?
Come on, it's already a little tough to watch seasons 3 and 4 with my kids. If Wally came back as a serial killer, they wouldn't trust me ever again. Ever.
It's got a real second ending of Evangelion vibe to it. I don't know. So Evangelion.
Well, right. Good. Thank you, Emily. It also went over my head.
Okay, good. No, I saw. I immediately started explaining. Evangelion was an anime where it finished and everyone was like, this ending is terrible. We all hate it. And the person making it was like, oh, okay, I'll give you another. And it was markedly worse. And it was just out of spite, out of hate.
Here, let me fix it for you. How's that?
Uh-huh.
Do you like the first one now?
Yeah. So it's got those vibes.
It has a real 90s dad, I'll give you something to cry about feel.
It's a reverse Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist, God. Which ended in a way that people were like, I don't, this isn't necessarily a great adaptation of the manga. And these ending went off in a weird direction. And they're like, what if we make the anime again and cut out the boring parts and make the ending better with the same cast? And everyone's like, sure, I guess you can just do that. I guess you could just make the same anime twice, but better.
I mean, there's been many times where I was like, oh, really? Can we get a do-over? We need a do-over on that?
Which is to say, there are many things that we would like to see adapted in Young Justice, but better.
Yeah.
I think, well, okay. Now, all of that aside, I think that there is something to be said about the really interesting storylines in the hands of, the Young Justice team to do something really interesting with Sanctuary, because, there is a lot of intrinsic benefit with the idea, but there is inherent risks as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Something like Sanctuary, because you have these superpowered people and the trauma that they're dealing with. And what does that mean? Also in Sanctuary, what I'm quickly realizing, because I'm trying to skim back through, because 2018 was not yesterday for me, is that they also seem to allow some of the fringy anti-heroes to kind of take a break, because I told you Harley was there.
Yeah, so I was like, is she attacking the place? Or is she just, okay.
Sure, that's who we think done it, until we find out who done did it.
Thank God it was Wally. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry. I just can't with the Wally. Anyway. What were you saying?
I told you it was bad. My note was
Sanctuary. It's bad. You could have left it there.
But conceptually,
yeah,
superheroes having a place.
But conceptually,
has been an ongoing motif of this entire show, from jump, from season 1, from halfway through season 1, from Failsafe and its follow up. It's important. Mental health is important.
And they have so many good therapists. They've got Black Canary. They got Dr. Jace. They got.
I love how you went to that instead of McGann, who is canonically also a counselor.
Well, Jace has already been brought up this episode once. I figured I got to call back to that. I was just messing. A Martian therapist. I'm telling you, it's a good deal.
It's like that's what they need to be pushing. It's like women in STEM, superheroes in psychiatry. Having more career fairs at the rec center.
There's no more Crashing the Moon.
I know. We're just sitting here trying to figure out how we wrap this up, because nobody.
It's been 10 years, and it's been an incredible ride. We hit the ground running and intensely with almost 100 episodes in 1 year. Nearly killed Caleb. We wouldn't have been able to keep going if you two hadn't showed up. Neil just sauntered up and started taking the load. If Richard Kritzlandry hadn't been a backup editor for us.
Oh, for sure.
If, Ryan hadn't set up the website for us. We spent a long time talking, Neil, Caleb, and I, about like, what are we going to do for season 2? Because Caleb had to move on with work and doing some other stuff. And then, bringing Emily on. I can't imagine any other better choice. So thank you, Emily, for coming in and bringing something fresh and fun and interesting. And I learned so much from you and laughed so hard with you over so many years. Blooper reels are proof. Blooper didn't happen. Discussing the comics with you brought me so much joy during some pretty rough times, doing, leading up to being really stressed with nursing and then COVID hitting and all kinds of stuff. This has been a whole project of love and joy. We've never had commercials. We've never really done any of the stuff. We just do this because of the love and the abuse we get from Greg periodically. I mean, am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. We signed up for it and we love it. This little act of passion that Caleb, that I had a long time ago, that Caleb instigated me into doing, has turned into something amazing. And seeing that it's 10 years and the show itself, canonically, it's 10 years. It's quite a moment to wrap on. That's what I've got.
Hey guys, Thanks for letting me sit at your lunch table. Thanks for letting me make a podcast with you. You're great. I appreciate you both a whole lot.
I feel like the word "led" is a ridiculous statement, in my opinion. And I know Rich will echo that, just in the sense that, like, it wouldn't, for both of us, it didn't make any sense not to.
Yeah.
Because the show's not what it is without you. I mean, even, Rich had to step away. And then, it was you and I for a while. And it was like nothing changed. I mean, something changed. I mean, we didn't have Rich, and so we didn't. Legion of who? I don't know. And then there's a legion of somebody's out there. Then I found out there was way too many of them, and I'm like, I'm not figuring this out. And then Rich came back, and I was like, I don't have to. But the idea of you not joining just feels ridiculous. Just being honest, like, just it did not have you be a part of it, and then just like where things went from there, like it just changed and elevated the show in such a special way.
Yeah, and I will always hold in my heart a special place for talking to your mom to convince you to fly out to California. Because you were like, no, and what were you? You were in like a parking lot, I think I called, and you were shopping with your mom, I think. And I said, just like, put your mom on the phone. And I was like, hi, I'm a big fan of you. I'm like, I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to badger her or like bully her into coming out here. Is there a real reason that she doesn't want to, or is this just kind of like I don't know. And then your mom says, I hear your mom like look at you. I can hear her turn her head and say, she did say she wanted to, what did she say? Said she wanted to push her envelope and go do more traveling or something recently. And I was like, oh, your mom threw you right under the bus. Just right under that bus. Right under that school bus.
Yep.
And
magic bus.
And then we got you out, and it was so much joy and fun.
I'll say, I've had the joy of meeting Mama Booza in person.
What?
Yeah, remember?
No.
Yeah, so when my wife graduated, because she went to UConn, and they have a fully online program, so it was very convenient for us, and it's an amazing online program. So then we were out there. I was like, first off, I'm very used to California, so when someone's like, "Oh, am I near you in California?" I'm like, I don't know. It's 14-hour drive from
right.
Beats me. I'm like, but Connecticut's like a stone throw from one top to the bottom. I'm pretty sure we're close. So yeah, we met up. Of course, I was
Aw.
like, I'll drive. I'll figure this out. I'll drive wherever I need to drive. I'll risk this rental car. I got the insurance. It's fine. Yeah. So where would we meet up? Where there's books, of course. So
Yeah.
I'll say you flew across the country last time. I figured I'd do it that time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just crying in the background here because it's been really great getting to do everything that we've gotten to do together. And I really appreciate it. And I feel so grateful to have had this opportunity and to have met both of you and to have flown across the country to record little commentary episodes for this show that's mattered so much to me, and to just have this experience that was never something I planned, and it's such a big important part of my life now. And it's so weird that it's coming to an end, but it also feels right to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And I just hope you both know how much all of that means to me. Because, yeah, you're just listing stuff and I'm crying. Because I'm like, yeah, no, I did. I got to fly across the country and meet two people who I've gotten to make such a special thing with, and meet the people who made a show that's mattered to me since I was in middle school, and everything else that has come out of this show that are things I could not imagine. I got to talk about Young Justice with Nicole Dubuque, my favorite writer of this show since I was 13. I've gotten to do some really cool things because of this, and I really appreciate that.
I just went back and listened to you. I was telling you I was listening to you on The Math of You with Lucas Brown, talking about that, hearing you on Protean City Comics, seeing you guest on so many shows and episodes. Kill Every Monster, we are all three on. Hearing you get to be you in a public forum, and people get to hear all the ways that and I'm sure Neil, just think you're amazing and are so grateful for you.
Yeah, I think about the DC Daily stuff. Like, that stands out probably the most to me. Like, looking at it back now, is that thinking about what I don't know that we fought for it, or it just seems so natural. But like the idea of like, oh, so like how are you going to get Emily? Because she can't fly out. So then, like, how are you doing that? And for them to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just, we'll have her remote in. And like thinking back on that time of like, well, so how are you going to solve that problem?
Yeah.
Like, and they did. And so it wasn't this big push back and forth, but it was just like I know in my heart of hearts, like, had they pushed, I would have been like, okay, well, that's pretty non-negotiable. Like, we have the technology.
We, for the in-person stuff, we did push back because they said they only had the money for so much. And we were like, okay, well, we're going to fly her out anyway. So just get a seat ready, because I'm going to talk to her and her mom and all of that. And I think I seem to remember you and Neil and I were like, no, we'll split the fare. Like, we'll just get you out here. And then when we mentioned it to them, what was that guy's name? Cooper? We mentioned it to him and he said, okay, you guys are going to bring her out? And he said, yeah. And he said, never mind, we'll cover it. We got you. And then they did it. And then for the other DC Daily stuff, for the interviews, we remoted, which was great. And that worked. That worked amazingly well. And just like, even how we got on those, they had asked Greg, like, hey, who should we get? And he's like, you got to get the Whelmed podcast people on. And the guy was like, I can't remember who it was. So sorry for who it was. Who was kind of running the show, because I met him when we were there. And he was like, Greg was like, you got to get the podcast people on. And I literally rolled my eyes. He was just like, podcast or whatever. And he said, so then I went and listened to an episode. And he listened to, it was MC Gould when MC had come on and talked about the amazing two-parter where she talks about the mythology of Young Justice and the Justice League and how the Hall of Justice is like the Parthenon where the normal people can connect, and the Watchtower is Mount Olympus, and the whole thing. So he was telling me that while we were sitting and getting makeup on, and he just looked at me and goes, man, I listened to that episode, just that first part of that episode, and I was like, you guys do not mess around. I was like, yes, and thank you, MC.
I remember that because I remember it was after we had done makeup. We were just waiting around between takes when we were recording the enhanced episodes, and I think that was the moment where you had that conversation completely normally, and then after he walked away, there was like a beat, and then you started crying.
Oh, that's right, I did.
I was and I like.
Yep.
We all had our different moments on that extended trip
Yep. Because I talked to him when it was over in like a different section of like closer to where we were filming for that, and same thing. It was just like, not necessarily the first portion, but more the second portion of just like, yeah, you guys are doing it at a level that I just kind of wasn't prepared for, and then it was like, oh, okay, they're fine, like confirmed, stamp of approval. But that dude was like, he's pretty far up there.
Yeah.
That you're all getting some behind.
Getting
some behind the scenes. I just don't remember who it was. Honestly, I met so many people, and during that whole time, I was just like, "What is happening right now?" You know. So
that was a lot.
It was a lot.
And I wasn't even on my coast.
It was a lot, and we were driving. Neil was driving 7-8 hours down sometimes to be on the DC Daily show, and I was taking.
Oh no, that's super easy. Burbank. 2.5.
Oh really? Oh, I thought it was 14 hours. Every time I tell a story, it gets longer.
I don't know what you're talking about. I would literally drop my kids off at school and still make call time. So
that's great. So, and I would take a train up, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to Burbank to do this thing. And they were all so nice, and we just really enjoyed being ourselves and being seen and appreciated for that. And it's such an amazing experience. It did go into Comic-Con too. We had a time where I went to con, I could only go one day, and I went one day with Richard Kurtzlandry. That was a wild weekend in general, but we were leaving. I was getting ready to leave, and Greg was like, oh, you got to meet us. And I was like, okay. So we went over, and they had the big DC Universe like thing that they had where they had like the Titans head was coming out, and they had like this presentation that was inside. And like the Titans, like Dick Grayson thing was like an escape room you had to get through and a bunch of stuff. And so we just stopped.
Installations.
Yeah, installations. Thank you. That's the word. And so we just came by and saw Greg, and we were like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, oh, we're going to go in. They got a VIP like line for us. We're going to go check out this thing. We're like, that's really cool. And so we were just talking. Who else was there? It was Zara Fuzzle was there. I think Eric Lopez was there. There's just people standing in line. So we were just talking to them. And then a woman comes down. She's got the signing thing that you have to like, if you die in here, don't sue us or whatever. And so she hands it to Greg, and Greg signs it, and he just hands it to me. And I was like, I'm sorry. He's like, sign it. I was like, okay. And I just signed it, and I looked at Richard, and he looked at me, and he was like, what? I'm like, just sign it. And then we went through this VIP tour thing with them. It was nuts. It was the same. That was a weekend. I think Richard Kurtzlandry was talking to you, Emily, on the phone. He had called you, or you had called. Something happened. We just told you what was going on, and you said like, "What's Rich doing now?" He's like, "He's talking to Matt Mercer." Because
it was like a group chat. We were texting back and
That's
forth.
what it was.
I think he was like, "Yeah, he's just stopped Matt Mercer from Dallison," and I'm like, "What? What do you mean? What is that?
What does that mean?"
You put Rich in a room and he just finds people.
So that was pretty funny because Matt and I have mutual friends, but we hadn't talked more than a few times over the many years. Taliesin and I have known each other for a long time, but hadn't also talked in 10 years, and we were kind of on each other's periphery. So that's when I was talking to Taliesin, and I was like, "Man, congratulations!" He's like, "Who would have thought a D&D game would have been what shot me to the top or whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, it's podcast. I was hanging out with Greg Weissman this morning," and he was like, "I love Greg Weissman," and so we started talking about Greg, which was really fun. So these are these moments, like you're talking about, Emily, where I go back and I look at 14-year-old Rich, who's playing D&D in a basement in 1984, a la Stranger Things, in a small town in Kentucky and thinking about what I've been able to do here by just following love and passion and bringing people like yourselves on, who are so incredible, and being loved and supported by you guys so much as I love and support you, and seeing what the world had to offer and didn't disappoint. So, okay, well, I'm crying now, and Emily's crying now. So
Right.
I pulled it together so that you can cry.
Thanks.
That's how it works.
Rude. Well, so we are wrapping the episodes, review episodes, obviously, and until and unless we get a season 5, I suppose.
You
You never
know.
know. We did want to let you know that we do have the comics, the targets, that we do want to go through at some point, but we're going to be doing those on a casual basis at this point because, as we may have mentioned before, Emily is in doing so much school.
Who would have guessed? It's 10. I started this while I was in school, and 10 years later, I'm now in different school. Support your local library so students like me will have a job after graduation.
Yeah.
And she's in school, and my wife and I have a school. So doing homeschooling and small group stuff for the local communities that we're in. And my kids are getting older and starting to do amazing things. So I'm pretty sure that my son is going to be with me at Gen Con this year for the first time, which would be pretty amazing. Descent to Midnight will be coming out soon, too. And that's going to be a pretty cool experience to get him at an age where he can start meeting all the cool people that I know. And then Neil and I will be on the D20 cruise for event cruises. Event.cruise. It's events.cruise. I always get it wrong. Events.cruise or event.cruises.
Event.cruises. Events.cruises. Cruises.events.
It's something like that. Or you just type in the D20 cruise. If you type in the D20 cruise,
it's both event.cruises. Now, the funniest part is that because of all of the errors, it's very clear that they've also taken the events.cruises and redirected it to event.
Perfect.
Which I think is hilarious.
Because they know what they're doing. So that's what's up with us. I just want to maybe also just add that we're just so grateful for the fans of Young Justice, and I don't know how many discussion sessions we have. Is it 80, 90, 100 discussion sessions with mid-70s fans and people from not just people from the show and voice cast, and how much fun we had talking to them, Zarafuzzle and Zeno, and just everybody that we just laughed and enjoyed with. Vanessa Marshall. And
I've gotten to have so many interesting conversations with such interesting people, and I have gotten to listen to you have so many interesting conversations with so many other interesting people, and I think that's great. I think that's part of what the point of this was. I think if there is anything to take away from our 10-year podcast and its hundreds of episodes, if you take away anything, it's that it's good to care about things and to think about stories and to share excitement and joy and passion and enthusiasm with anyone who will listen. That's the point of everything.
Yeah. And that's why we didn't call that section interviews or anything. We called it discussion sessions, because we wanted to bring people like James Introcaso in, and Quinn Wilson, and all these people who are fans of the show, but fans of other things and do other jobs, musicians, and hear about what their passions were, and how it plugged into not just this show, but a springboard for other things as well. And I'm so grateful for all of them being so excited to come on and just have a really good conversation. I agree with you, Emily. Aside from working with you all and Caleb, I think one of my favorite parts of the show, honestly, is the discussion sessions where we get to just go off on enjoying each other so much.
Yeah, I think if you take nothing else away from all the time and effort that we've all put into the show, I think the guiding light was always to try and showcase what it looks like to have the positive aspects of a fandom. That's not always true, even for this one. There's a bunch of times that you go on there's most of the times that you go onto the internet, and then we've moved into a time that hate sells for whatever reason. And I think that for us, that trying to showcase you can love something so much that the only thing you can do is talk about it way more than it actually exists in the world, and then talk about it some more. And then when you're done, you go find other people who also want to talk about it even more than that. So yeah, if any listener takes nothing else away from all of this, it is that you can find people that love the thing you love and connect with them, because it is the best thing the internet has ever brought to us, is that being able to connect with people that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to connect to.
In positive ways. Yeah, agreed. Well, guys, thank you all for listening to us for so many years. And we will continue to drop things into the feed as they come up, and we do. So for now, we want to say one last time, stay whelmed, everyone.
Stay whelmed, everyone.
Stay whelmed, everyone.
You've been listening to Whelmed, the Young Justice Files podcast. Our hosts are Rich Howard and Emily Booza. Our editor and producer is Neil Powell. Our theme was composed by Emily Mio. Our logo was created by Kevin Bates. Whelmed is a fan-made podcast and is not officially affiliated with DC Comics, DC Entertainment, Warner Brothers Animation, and any other owners of Young Justice or its related source material. As such, these companies have sole ownership of all symbols, images, names, logos, and proprietary material related to Young Justice. Original content of this podcast is ours under Creative Commons. Thanks for listening, and stay whelmed.